Don't forget who you are, not when life applauds you and not when life tests you. The world has a way of pulling us in every direction, trying to rename us by our failures, our fears, our past mistakes, or even our temporary success. But who you are is deeper than a moment, stronger than a setback, and greater than any label placed upon you. You are not defined by what went wrong yesterday, nor by what hasn't worked out yet. You are defined by the values you carry, the purpose placed inside you, and the strength that has carried you through storms you never thought you'd survive. When life gets loud, your identity must speak louder. Don't forget who you are when rejection knocks at your door. Rejection is not a verdict, it is often redirection. Some doors close not because you are unworthy, but because they are too small for who you are becoming. If you forget who you are, you will beg for places you have outgrown. Don't forget who you are when success comes. Success can be just as dangerous as failure if it makes you arrogant, careless, or disconnected from your roots. Remember the days you prayed for what you now have. Stay humble. Stay grateful. Character is who you are when no one is watching, not when everyone is applauding. Don't forget who you are in moments of pressure. Pressure reveals identity. When you are squeezed, what comes out of you shows what truly lives within you. Choose integrity over shortcuts, truth over comfort, and purpose over popularity. You are not here by accident. You were shaped by lessons, strengthened by pain, and refined by time. Every delay taught you patience. Every struggle built endurance. Every tear watered growth. What tried to break you actually built you. So stand firm, walk with confidence, speak with conviction. Even if you stand alone, don't abandon yourself to fit in. The moment you forget who you are is the moment you start living someone else's life. Your identity is not something that rises and falls with the outcomes of your life. It is not built on the moments when you succeed, and it is not destroyed in the moments when you fail. Success is an event, not a definition. Failure is an experience, not a sentence. If you allow achievements to define you, you will constantly chase validation. If you allow failures to define you, you will constantly live in shame. But who you are exists beyond both extremes. There were seasons when you won and people praised you. There were also seasons when you lost and people questioned you. Neither of those moments had the authority to rename you. What you accomplished did not create your worth, and what went wrong did not remove it. Your value was established before the results ever showed up, long before applause or criticism. Your identity already had substance. Many people forget who they are because they attach their worth to performance. When they succeed, they feel important. When they fall short, they feel invisible. But life was never meant to be lived on that unstable foundation. If your identity is built only on winning, you will be afraid to take risks. If it is built only on avoiding failure, you will never grow. A strong identity remains steady in both victory and defeat. Failures are teachers, not labels. They reveal areas that need growth, not areas that lack worth. Successes are milestones, not final destinations. They confirm effort, but they do not define essence. You are still the same person in the quiet moments when no one is watching as you are in the loud moments when everyone is clapping. That consistency is where true identity lives. When you understand this, you stop allowing circumstances to control your confidence. You no longer collapse when things go wrong, and you no longer become arrogant when things go right. You remain grounded, because you know that outcomes change, seasons shift, and situations evolve, but who you are at the core remains intact. Your identity is rooted in your values, your character, and your purpose, not in temporary results. You are more than your last mistake, and you are more than your greatest achievement. When you truly understand this, you stop proving yourself to the world and start living from a place of inner certainty. The world world is always trying to place a name on you, a limit around you, and a box over your potential. It will define you by your past, by your background, by your mistakes, by your appearance, or by the opinions of people who have never walked in your shoes. If you are not careful, those voices will become louder than your own, and slowly you will start believing what they say instead of what you know to be true. From a young age, expectations are placed upon you. You are told what you should be, how far you can go, and what is considered acceptable for someone like you. Society measures worth by status, money, popularity, and perfection. When you don't fit those measurements, it tries to shrink you, making you feel inadequate or invisible. But those standards were never designed to reveal your true identity. They were designed to control behavior and maintain comfort. People will define you based on a single moment, ignoring the journey it took to get there. They will judge you at your lowest point and assume that is who you will always be. Others will define you by your success and only value you for what you can produce. Both are dangerous because neither sees the whole of who you are. When you accept those definitions, you hand over your power and allow external voices to shape your internal truth. The danger is not just what the world says about you, but what you start repeating to yourself. Once you internalize false labels, they influence your decisions, your confidence, and your direction. You begin to hesitate, to settle, to silence your voice because you fear confirming what others already believe. This is how identity erosion begins, not through one loud lie, but through many quiet agreements with it. Refusing the world's definition requires courage. It means standing firm when misunderstood, continuing forward when doubted, and believing in your calling even when it is unsupported. It means choosing truth over approval and purpose over popularity. When you know who you are, opinions lose their authority and labels lose their grip. You were never meant to be defined by the crowd, the culture, or the critics. Your identity must come from within, anchored in your values and convictions. When you stop letting the world define you, you regain clarity, strength, and direction, and you begin to live with intention instead of reaction. Rejection has a way of making you question your value if you are not rooted in who you are. When doors close, when opportunities pass you by, and when people walk away, it is easy to assume that something is wrong with you. Disappointment whispers lies, telling you that you are not good enough, not qualified enough, or not chosen for a reason. In those moments, forgetting who you are can do more damage than the rejection itself. Rejection is painful because it feels personal, but is often situational. Many times you are not rejected because you lack worth, but because the timing was wrong, the fit was limited, or the vision was incomplete. Not every no is a judgment of your ability. Some rejections are protection, saving you from environments that would have drained your strength, limited your growth, or forced you to compromise your values. When disappointment hits, the temptation is to shrink yourself, to lower your expectations, or to settle for less than what aligns with who you are. You may feel pressure to change personality, your standards, or your dreams, just to be accepted. But losing yourself for acceptance is far more costly than being rejected for being authentic. If you forget who you are, you will chase approval instead of purpose. Rejection also reveals character. It shows whether your confidence is dependent on validation or grounded in identity. When you know who you are, rejection may hurt, but it will not break you. You will grieve the loss, learn the lesson, and continue moving forward without bitterness. You will understand that your value does not decrease because someone else failed to recognize it. Disappointment can either define you or develop you. It can turn into resentment, or it can become refinement. When you remember who you are, you use rejection as redirection. You gain clarity about what you will tolerate and where you belong and what you are truly called to pursue. Instead of closing your heart, you strengthen your resolve. In moments of rejection, identity must come before emotion. Feel the pain, but don't let it rename you. The door that closed behind you does not determine the path ahead of you. What matters is that you remain aligned with who you are, even when the outcome is not what you hoped for. When a door closes, the first reaction is often confusion or frustration. You replay conversations, question decisions, and wonder what you could have done differently. But not every closed door is a sign of failure. Many times it is evidence of growth. Some spaces cannot contain the person you are becoming, and instead of expanding, they shut you out. Outgrowing a room happens quietly. Your mindset changes before your environment does. Your value deepens, your vision expands, and your hunger for purpose grows stronger. What once felt comfortable starts to feel limiting. Conversations no longer inspire you. Opportunities no longer challenge you. The room stays the same, but you don't, and that difference creates tension. A closed door can be protection. If you had stayed, you might have learned how to survive, but not how to evolve. Some environments reward conformity over creativity and comfort over courage. Staying in them would require you to shrink your voice, silence your convictions, or compromise your standards. The door closes not to punish you, but to prevent you from settling. There are also doors that close because they were only meant for a season. They served a purpose at one point in your journey, teaching you lessons, building skills, and shaping resilience. But seasons are not meant to last forever. Holding on too long can turn gratitude into resentment. When the door closes, it is often an invitation to move forward, not backward. The challenge is resisting the urge to knock again. When something ends, the temptation is to force it open because it is familiar. Familiarity feels safe, even when it no longer fits. But forcing your way back into a space you have outgrown delays growth and blurs direction. Sometimes the most courageous decision is to accept the closure and trust that something larger lies ahead. Outgrowing a room is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. It signals expansion, readiness, and preparation for something greater. The closed door behind you is not a loss. It is confirmation that you are no longer who you used to be. And the next room requires a bigger version of you. Success has the power to elevate your position, but it should never inflate your ego. When achievements begin to accumulate and recognition follows, there is a subtle danger of forgetting where you started and who you were before the applause. Humility is what keeps success from becoming a burden instead of a blessing. Without it, success can distort perspective and weaken character. Humility does not mean denying your accomplishments or downplaying your abilities. It means remembering that success is not built alone. There were lessons you didn't choose, struggles you didn't expect, and people who supported you when there was nothing to gain from doing so. Forgetting these realities can lead to arrogance, entitlement, and disconnection from others. When humility is lost, success begins to isolate. People stop speaking honestly around you, relationships become transactional, and growth slows because correction feels like an attack. Pride creates blind spots, making you believe you have nothing left to learn, but humility keeps you teachable. It reminds you that no matter how high you rise, there is always more wisdom to gain and more responsibility to carry. Success should deepen gratitude, not superiority. The higher you climb, the stronger your awareness should be of how quickly circumstances can change. Humility keeps you grounded during praise and stable during pressure. It allows you to celebrate progress without becoming defined by it. True humility also shapes how you treat others. It shows in how you speak, how you listen, and how you serve. It means respecting people regardless of status and remembering that your value as a person is separate from your title or achievements. Success that erases humility eventually erases trust. When humility walks alongside success, character remains intact. You stay connected to your roots, aligned with your values, and conscious of your responsibility to use success wisely. Humility ensures that as your influence grows, your integrity grows with it. Integrity is choosing what is right even when what is easy is within reach. In moments of pressure or opportunity, shortcuts often present themselves as quick solutions, promising faster results with less effort. But every shortcut demands a trade, and most of the time, the price is your character. When integrity is compromised, success may arrive sooner, but it will never last securely. Shortcuts appeal to impatience. They whisper that the process is unnecessary, that standards are optional, and that results justify methods. But the process is where identity is built. When you bypass growth, discipline, and honesty, you may reach a destination, but you arrive unprepared to sustain it. Integrity ensures that when progress comes, you are mature enough to handle it. Choosing integrity often feels costly in the moment. It may mean saying no to opportunities that look beneficial but conflict with your values. It may mean walking away from recognition, profit, or approval, but integrity protects you from consequences that shortcuts hide. What shortcuts conceal at first, they reveal later, often when the cost is highest. Integrity also shapes self-respect. When you compromise repeatedly, confidence erodes. You begin to question your own worth and direction because you know you did not earn your progress honestly. Integrity allows you to stand firmly, knowing your foundation is clean and your conscience is clear. This internal peace is something shortcuts can never provide. People may not always see your integrity, but they eventually feel it. Trust is built through consistent honesty, not impressive results. When integrity guides your decisions, relationships deepen, credibility strengthens, and influence grows naturally. What you build with integrity may take longer, but it stands stronger. Integrity aligns your actions with your identity. It ensures that who you are in private matches who you present in public. When integrity leads, shortcuts lose their power and your path remains aligned with purpose rather than convenience. Your past is not a collection of mistakes meant to disqualify you. It is a classroom that shaped your awareness, strength, and wisdom. Every experience, especially the difficult ones, taught you something you could not have learned any other way. Pain, failure, delay, and loss were not wasted seasons. They were preparation in disguise. Many people carry guilt or regret, believing their history makes them unworthy of growth or opportunity. They replay old decisions and allow shame to define their future. But lessons are not evidence of failure. They are evidence of learning. What you survived refined your judgment, deepened your empathy, and sharpened your resilience. These qualities cannot be gained through comfort alone. Your past also gave you perspective. It taught you what doesn't work, what matters most, and what you will no longer tolerate. The awareness you have today exists because what you walked through yesterday. Without those lessons, your discernment would be limited and your decisions less grounded. There is strength in understanding that mistakes do not cancel potential. They reveal areas that needed growth, not proof that you lack value. When you accept your past as preparation, you stop hiding from it and start using it. Your experiences become tools instead of burdens, references instead of regrets. Others may try to remind you of who you used to be, but growth means you are no longer confined to old versions of yourself. You are allowed to evolve. The person you are is not the person you are becoming. Holding on to the past as a label limits movement, but learning from it creates momentum. When you view your past through the lens of preparation, confidence returns. You stop doubting your readiness and start trusting your development. The lessons you carry are proof that you are not behind. You are equipped, aware, and stronger than you realize. Gratitude is more than saying thank you. It is a posture of the heart that keeps you connected to reality. When gratitude is present, you remember the journey, not just the destination. You remember the nights of uncertainty, the slow progress, and the moments when giving up seemed easier than moving forward. Gratitude anchors you the truth of how far you come without allowing pride to distort your view. Without gratitude, it is easy to believe that you achieved everything by your own strength alone. This mindset slowly separates you from who you truly are. You begin to forget the lessons that shaped you and the humility that once kept you disciplined. Gratitude restores perspective by reminding you that growth is layered, help is real, and progress is rarely solitary. Gratitude also protects you from dissatisfaction. When you stop appreciating what you have, you start chasing what you don't. That constant pursuit creates restlessness and comparison, making you feel incomplete even in seasons of abundance. A gratitude shifts your focus from lack to provision, from pressure to presence. It allows you to stand confidently in your current season without resenting it. Staying grounded means knowing that circumstances can change, but your character should not. Gratitude keeps your feet on solid ground when life begins to elevate you. It softens your spirit, sharpens your awareness, and deepens your empathy for others who are still in the process you once walked through. It reminds you that everyone is fighting unseen battles. When gratitude becomes part of your identity, it influences how you speak, how you treat people, and how you respond to challenges. You move with appreciation instead of entitlement. You acknowledge progress without dismissing struggle. This balance keeps you aligned with your values and prevents success from redefining you. Gratitude reconnects you to your origin, your purpose, and your humanity. It ensures that no matter how far you go, you remain rooted in the truth of who you are and how you arrived there. Pressure has a way of uncovering what truly lives inside you. When life is calm, it is easy to appear confident, patient, and disciplined. But when expectations rise, time feels limited and consequences feel heavy, your true identity begins to surface. Pressure does not create character, it exposes. It shows whether your foundation is strong or whether it was built on comfort and convenience. Under pressure, masks fall away. You respond instinctively, not strategically. Your choices and attitudes in those moments reveal what you genuinely believe about yourself. If pressure causes you to compromise your values, it signals that your identity may be tied to approval or fear rather than conviction. If pressure strengthens your resolve, it confirms that your identity is rooted in something deeper than circumstance. Many people try to avoid pressure, but pressure is often necessary for growth. Just as resistance strengthens muscles, pressure strengthens identity when it is faced with clarity and self-awareness. It forces you to decide who you are willing to be when the outcome is uncertain and the cost is high. These moments define direction more than comfort ever could. Pressure also tests emotional maturity. It reveals how you handle disappointment, conflict, and delay. Do you react impulsively or do you respond with wisdom? Do you blame others or do you take responsibility? Your answers to these questions are not spoken. They are lived out in moments when pressure is unavoidable. When you understand that pressure is a revealer, you stop fearing it. Instead of seeing it as a threat, you begin to see it as feedback. It shows you where you are strong and where you need growth. This awareness allows you to refine your character rather than deny your weaknesses. Pressure-filled seasons are often preparation seasons. They shape resilience, deepen focus, and strengthen identity. What holds you steady when everything feels heavy is a clear understanding of who you are and what you stand for. Pain is one of life's most powerful teachers, yet it is also one of the hardest to embrace. Every person experiences moments of hurt, disappointment, or betrayal, and it is easy to allow those moments to define you in negative ways. But pain is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you. How you respond to it determines whether it becomes a weight that crushes you or a force that shapes your purpose. When you face pain, it tests endurance, patience, and perspective. The initial reaction is often resistance or anger because discomfort feels unnatural and unfair. But if you pause long enough to reflect, you begin to see that pain is not random. It carries a lesson, a redirection, or an opportunity for growth. Your scars become evidence that you survived. learn. Pain also sharpens empathy. Those who never experience struggle can achieve knowledge, but rarely develop the depth of compassion that pain fosters. Walking through difficulties teaches you to recognize suffering in others, to offer support without judgment, and to lead with understanding rather than mere authority. Purpose is amplified when it is paired with empathy. Pain refines both. Another way pain shapes purpose is by clarifying priorities. Hardships reveal what truly matters in life and what is merely superficial. They strip away distractions, forcing you to focus on your core values and deepest convictions. When life hurts, it often guides you toward authenticity, toward work, relationships, and choices that align with who you were meant to be. Many give up during pain because it feels endless. They stop pursuing goals, retreat from responsibilities, or abandon their dreams entirely. But those who endure learn that pain is temporary and it often precedes transformation. The breakthrough is never far from the struggle if you are willing to persevere. Persistence through pain builds resilience. Every step taken despite discomfort reinforces strength, courage, and self-belief. It teaches that setbacks are not the end, but part of a process of growth and refinement. Pain becomes the forge in which determination is hardened, shaping not just what you do, but who you are becoming. Those who allow pain to shape purpose carry a story of power and hope. They understand that suffering is not meaningless and that every trial can be turned into testimony. Pain molds character, strengthens vision, and awakens potential that might otherwise remain dormant. True confidence is not built on external validation, achievements, or appearances. It is built on knowing your values and standing firm in them. When you are clear about what you believe, what you will tolerate, and what matters most to you, your decisions, actions, and reactions begin to align with your inner truth. That alignment creates a quiet but unshakable confidence that cannot be swayed by opinion, circumstance, or pressure. Many people mistake confidence for arrogance or self-promotion, but those are only illusions. Real confidence comes from self-awareness. It comes from understanding who you are at your core, what principles guide your life, and what legacy you want to leave. When you operate from this foundation, you don't need approval to act. You simply act in accordance with your convictions. Knowing your values also provides clarity in moments of uncertainty. Life will inevitably present choices that challenge you, temptations that test you, and situations that try to pull you off course. If you are unsure of your values, indecision and doubt creep in. But when you have a clear internal compass, navigating obstacles becomes easier because your confidence is anchored in truth rather than circumstance. Confidence grounded in values is resilient. It does not crumble when criticism comes or when failure strikes. You understand that your worth is not dictated by external results, but by the principles that guide you. This kind of confidence allows you to recover quickly from setbacks because it is rooted in identity, not outcome. Additionally, values-based confidence shapes how you interact with others. You speak with honesty, act with integrity, and influence people through authenticity rather than performance. It is a quiet strength that commands respect and earns trust, even without overt assertion. When you know your values, you are less likely to compromise under pressure. You recognize situations that conflict with who you are and have the courage to walk away when necessary. This self-assuredness is magnetic, inspiring others and setting a standard for integrity and purpose. Confidence born from values also encourages growth. You are secure enough to admit mistakes, learn from them, and continue evolving without fear of judgment. It frees you from the need to perform for approval and instead allows you to act in alignment with your highest potential. In essence, confidence is not about proving yourself to the world. It is about honoring yourself through consistent adherence to your values. When you live from this place, your presence speaks louder than words, and your life becomes a testament to the power of who know who you are and standing firm in that truth. As we come to the closest message, remember this life will try to define you, to shape you, to squeeze you into molds that were never meant for you. But your identity, your worth, and your purpose cannot be dictated by circumstances, opinions, or temporary results. Who you are is greater than the challenges you face, deeper than the mistakes you've made, and stronger than the labels others try to place on you. Stand firm in your truth. Hold tightly to your values, your integrity, and your purpose. Celebrate your victories, but never allow them to change the core of who you are. Endure your pain, but let it teach you rather than defeat you. Embrace rejection and disappointment, but let them redirect you toward where you truly belong. Every season, every struggle, every success is a chapter in the story of who you were always meant to be. Don't shrink to fit someone else's expectations. Don't trade your authenticity for approval. Don't forget the lessons your past has taught you or the potential your future holds. Walk boldly, speak with conviction, and live with intention. The world needs the real you, the version that is grounded in purpose, anchored in values, and empowered by faith in who you truly are. So today, make this a promise to yourself. No matter what happens, no matter how high the applause or how heavy the trial, you will never forget who you are. Stand tall, stay true, and let your life be a reflection of the unique, powerful, and extraordinary person you were created to be. Because when you never forget who you are, you inspire, you overcome, and you leave a legacy that no circumstance can erase.